Hi, this is my assistive technology toolbox, and that I wanted to show off. And some of the things that I've incorporated in here is I did do the table of contents right off the bat. I just think that kind of helps everybody just show where everything is. So there's that. And one thing you will find out is that in mine, I have added a lot of pictures and or videos or just a website to get ideas from, because I know my audience of my teachers at school. And one thing that we get is a lot of emails or a lot of handouts that everybody wants us to read about the new laws and updating of things and the reasoning behind it. We sometimes get a little burnt out at school, so we just kind of want a quick reference to see what is happening. So I did use a lot of pictures to gain ideas that the teachers can gain ideas from, or anybody in our area. And instead of saying like an adapted pencil and everybody's like, well, what is that? So it gives ideas of what you can do and how, just different pictures and how you can make them yourself instead of buying something expensive. And in our district, we have a phenomenal special ed coordinator, and her administrative assistant is just as phenomenal. So if you say you need something, they'll give you 10 items of exactly what it is that you're talking about. So I wanted to give some teachers the basic idea of everything. So here, the first one is the definition, of course, and I added the definition. Oops, wrong button. So here's the definition and just a quick video. And then when you go to the assistive technology part, with a video, of course, and yes, the user, okay, we know who the user is, we know our audience. And here are just some ideas like what can I do? Like if a teacher is stumped, what can I do? Well, here's a bunch of ideas that were just given. I mean, instead of writing pencil grips, well, here's an idea, just pictures that they can quickly reference and see exactly what it is. And with the exception of some of them, I did put like, there's a whole graphic organizer page right here. You can pick to your heart's content right here. I mean, I use this very often for myself. So that's kind of important to me. And then with the typing aids here, we don't see this in my classroom this recently, actually. And so this is where we are at with that. And then we have the learning, different ideas that you can use. The portable word processor, that's an idea. A lot of times in our school now that we do have our Chromebooks so they can carry it. So they pretty much have that under control. But the read and write for Google Chrome, that's another good one that I think we often forget. And the picture schedules, our teachers do a phenomenal job with schedules on the board. But sometimes, it's nice to have the pictures there. So we have that. And for seeing, so we went all the way down with that and the walking. And sometimes just with walking in the hall, it's just as easy as putting a railing right there like that in the hall, and it can help. So we have that right there. Next, I did some low-tech devices. Now here's an example of low-tech devices. Again, my teachers, they don't quite, I mean, of course, some of us have troubles understanding which one's low, medium, and high. I get that. So I just did this with the graphic organizers, the visual schedules. Like some of them go right to Pinterest. So you can get several ideas like this and go, okay. Because sometimes if you just see it, you're like, okay, now I have a starting point. And then we get it. Instead of having to read the whole meaning behind everything. And so then there's this sensory input, all kinds of goodies on this page that you could think of. And a lot of people don't, we often forget, like fidget spinners. I just recently started using those in my room again, can be hugely rewarding. So here's all kinds of the fidgets they can use. And once you get an idea of which one you're like, oh, I think they would really like that, then you can look it up and see where everything is. And the binder clip one for turning the pages. I know it's not just binder clips, but it gives you several different ideas. Some of them are from Pinterest, some are from the Google sites, pictures. So you get ideas like, oh, they just need a little bit of help like this one. So I could use sticky tack for that one, or little poof balls like that, whatever I call them I think I call them poof balls. So I'm sorry. And so what teachers need to know, mostly that low-tech items, we use no-tech all the time in the classroom, preferential seating, or just we have stand-up desks in the classroom, if a kid needs it, whatnot. So on my end, what I wanted the teachers to understand is that when we are sitting in an IEP meeting, we have to discuss this. Now, one thing that we all know are IDEA, and FAPE. So I didn't feel the need to add that if I'm just going to give it to my teachers in my school, my colleagues, I should say. And so what I did here is I left that out. We know that. They all know that. They don't want to read that. If they saw all of that, by the time they got down to here, it would be lost and they wouldn't want to go any further. So I just put these dates here. In 04 is when it was considered in the IEPs. And then in 18, that it was included that assistive technology was included in the alternate assessment flowchart to be considered a qualifying factor for it. So if you go down here, it's one of these down here. So I put the flow chart in there that we do have to follow in our classrooms. And that if we deem it necessary, what we did is we have to mark it in section 2 of our IEP, the special instructional factors that the child does require assistive technology devices. And section 7, it'll say right here with the assistive technology portion of that under the related services. And you just list the devices. It could be fidgets. It could be tactile breaks, the anything squishy toys and stuff like that. And you can keep it very low. However, I know when I went to the alternative assessment training this year, they did mention that it was going to become more strict as the years go by. Now, of course, COVID hit this year, so if we didn't finish the alternate assessments, they're null and void. We don't need to finish them. And then I also wrote that Ocali has a lending library that you can try before you buy. And there's anything, and they have books and all that other stuff. And I put the link right there for the lending library that they could go right to. And an example of low, mid, and high-tech devices are here. And again, I put a link to low-tech, high-tech, and mid-tech, high-tech, mid, and low. So yeah, that was there. The AT models. Now, I did include the SET framework in this one because it pertains more to school than the others. And I wanted them to focus on one instead of giving them all. And let's focus on one. And all the information is right here by Dr. Joy Zabala's website, and with all the documents you can put right there. All of them you can print off, you can have them ready, and then the picture of how it goes, because some people do like those pictures, and they can understand those better and see how it's broken down. I know I'm a very picture person. I need that. And so I broke it down here and what to consider, and by color, so that they could see, okay, the student in the South, the student considerations, what you need to consider, all the way down. So it's kind of color coded there. And then down here, the 8 decision-making steps, even though you don't need to follow a certain process, but this is just, one of them that makes sense, and it's easy to understand, and that it does not have to be a long drawn out meeting. It can be very quick. It could be a 5-minute discussion, and just to start, okay, where's the concerns? This is what we need to work on. Okay. And then you start gathering all the information and you start talking to your people. So it doesn't have to be long and drawn out. And that's one thing I wanted to stress to everybody there. And then lastly, we have the environmental control devices. I just wanted to briefly touch on this for my friends, because we often don't think of it, that this is a possibility out there, and the technology has come so far than what it used to be. So like and these are YouTube videos, and I wanted to make them very quick and short. So if you're like, oh God, I got to pick my kids up in like 5 minutes. Oh wait, this one's only 2 minutes. I can read this or watch this real quick. So one of the nice things is, it goes from the sites of where he needs to, I think this is one of the former ones where like from 7 to 10 years ago. And then this one is newer where they're kind of using Alexa and things like that. So that is really nice to see. And if I was to go further, I might even add some, maybe like a subtitle on this one now that I'm thinking about it, and add different like Alexa devices and the outlets that you can put in, and you can name that device. Like if it's your TV, you can say bedroom TV, turn off bedroom TV or whatnot. And it's just very nice that how far it has come. And so I think that is it. And I hope you enjoyed watching it.